Support-wise, well, here's the thing. Support-wise, it did okay. It didn't do poorly, but it also didn't do amazing. Basically, I kind of made enough to recoup the cost of the Switch 2, and that's about it. And you get, what do I have this for? What am I doing?
You know, a lot of people make fun of DSP, and it's not difficult to see why. I mean, we're in 2025, and you're an experienced content creator. You know what you're getting yourself into. This is not the first time a console was released, and especially, it's not the 90s anymore. Like, we know that when a console comes up, it's extremely expensive. Most of the time, it doesn't add too much innovation. I guess you can have the argument that it's a Nintendo, so at least you get some exclusives, like PlayStation or Xbox. But like, give me a break. It's like, oh, I got it, so what am I getting for it? It's like, well, you should know you're not getting much. Like, there are other people doing reviews of these things. Like, you should already know that in 2025, when a new product comes out, it's usually buggy, it's usually faulty. And the question is like, well, how should you know? Well, you should assume. Like, that is the standard. You do not go with innocent until proven guilty. You go with probatia ad diabolica. You know that these corporations are evil, and they're trying to milk you of money. And so, I get it when a streamer or when a content creator buys these things, because you're actually doing a public service. Like, you're showing to other people, look how crap this shit is, right? So, like, a content creator is different than an average user, especially if you're not hyped up about buying it. You're just buying it in order to make streams, right? Like, that's your content. Like, everyone does it, so if you don't do it, your channel falls behind. I get it. What I don't get, though, is people like Mutahar. Like, what is his channel called? Some Ordinary Gamers? Like, he was trending on Twitter because he was also telling people not to buy the thing. And then he changes his mind and he buys it. It's like, my brother in Christ, what are you doing? Of course you're going to get flack from the community. Like, if you put it like that, you know, you don't even know how to create a little bit of showmanship. You don't even know how to create a little bit of drama. And you can say, look, so many people want to buy it, and so I will buy it to show you just how bad it is, because I'm rich and you're poor. You know, at least you come with something like that. It's a lot less difficult for people to attack you. But honestly, like, these content creators, they make it so easy to lol-cowlize themselves. Because they usually treat these things as moral absolutes. Like, it's a test of a person's morality, whether they buy a Switch or not, you know? And then they make videos, and they condemn the people that are supporting this. And they themselves, they go and they support it. Like, my brother in Christ, it looks bad. From any angle, you know? Like, if you create the morality in the world that doesn't fit you, don't be afraid when the world tries to chew you out. And so, yeah, I saw the release of the Switch 2. I didn't even talk about it. That's how unimpressive it was. None of the titles that are coming out are of interest to me. But more importantly, the question, like, what exactly does it bring? Well, apparently it brings region locking, which, you know, to be fair, in 2025, it starts becoming mandatory. A lot of people don't make video games. A lot of people don't make movies. And so you don't know why region locking is important. You see, there are some nations out there, like the United Kingdom, that are flat out brain dead when it comes to entertainment. Like, they genuinely try to regulate entertainment. They try to regulate fiction. And so not everyone is as insane as them, you know? Not everyone is a mental walking asylum. And game companies, they're like, okay, you're telling me that I can't have a romance story. Like a high school romance story for teenagers, right? Like the type of visual novels that are incredibly popular. Like, not something not safe for work, but something with fan service, right? Takes place in a high school, kissy. The type of shit that's very popular in Asia. You're telling me that if I make that game, it's illegal in the UK or borderline or in a gray area where the payment processors may not support me? Well, if that's the case, we region lock UK. Like, that game is simply, like, we're protecting the British person from themselves. And for the rest of the world that still acts normal, like, they can have the game, right? And it's not just, like, not safe for work stuff. Apparently, it's anything regarding alcohol. Like, you'll notice how Street Fighter and many others, they don't call it alcohol anymore. They call it herbal medicine, right? Because, again, like, there are countries with mental illnesses that they do not want alcohol in fiction. And so region locking becomes a thing. And a lot of people were upset that switched to region locks. That's the reason. That's why it region locks. Like, I'm sorry to say it. It is what it is. Expensive price. Well, of course it's an expensive price if people are willing to buy it. I don't understand why anyone would buy a console on day one when you barely have any games, when the original Switch still has games. The games that are going to come up for Switch 2, there's not that major difference in graphics. Like, you can still wait a little bit, right? A lot of them will still have a Switch 1 equivalent. But people, they can't help themselves. Usually consoles also create artificial shortages at launch simply to generate hype and buzz. In 2025, you're supposed to know this. Like, we have decades of experience. This is not the 90s anymore when video game industry is growing and it's a novelty. Like, no, people, especially content creators and streamers, should absolutely know how consoles operate and how they work. Again, the only advantage, as I mentioned before, is the fact that Nintendo may actually have exclusives. For some reason, Nintendo has managed to protect its IPs, and it's very unlikely you're going to see Mario Kart on the PC. So you are getting something. Unfortunately, you're also supporting the new bad business practices that corporations do whenever they launch a new console. Like, if people can just choose to be a little bit patient and to give some negative reviews, we have seen that corporations pull back their overreach. Perfect example with this is Xbox One. Like, Xbox One, when it came out, it required people to have an online connection. At the time, that was something unthinkable. The idea of online only for the sake of online only just didn't exist in the consumer mindset. They had the Kinect monitoring your heartbeat so that it can harvest data and give to its game developers to say at which point in the game you felt excitement. People were uncomfortable with that. And so people genuinely boycotted the Xbox One, and Xbox just removed a lot of those features, right? Eventually they added them again because consumers are consumers. However, it does go to show that pushback is possible, and if the pushback would have been consistent, then it would have worked. But if you're willing to buy day one, when the console just released, don't come up and complain about shit like this. Nintendo is banning Switch 2 users for piracy, even if they're just backing up their games. Nintendo has been at war with pirates for decades, and now the battleground has moved to Switch 2. Apparently, the flashcards are essentially third-party cartridges. They can play pirated games downloaded from the internet, or legitimate backups, purchased games, but Nintendo no longer discriminates. And so a lot of people were upset. And I'm like, okay, well, apparently a lot of other gamers aren't, right? And if if the market isn't upset, well, guess what you're getting? You're going to get more of this. So yeah, all in all, I wouldn't recommend people get a Switch 2 yet. Like, if you're desperately interested, like, wait a while, like, wait for them to patch up the bugs and all the nonsense that it has. Wait for some actual games that you're interested in coming in, and until then, just keep playing the Switch 1. I don't see the reason to switch. Unless you're a content creator like DSP and you want to make... How much did he make? He said he barely made enough, right? So maybe he spent $500 on it and made $550, right? Okay, well, he made $50. So, in a way, at the end of the day, he's on the plus. He's not on the minus. But for the rest of us, especially myself, who has no interest in streaming this shit, I'm not going to touch it. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.